Hello, I'm Lance.
And I'm Dave.
And welcome to Disgusting.
A series where we discuss things.
Yes, the things that upset us in the news. So it'll be topical.
And horrible.
Yes, like the ointment of the same name.
That is essentially the news these days.
It's ointment. What's our topic du jour?
Happy summer camps?
Happy summer camps. Yes.
Wait. Camps.
That's the one.
Yeah,
but you can't say that. In fact, no one actually probably heard that because we're bleeping everything in these, by the way.
Yeah.
This is going to be a good topic, right?
Yeah.
In the realm of depression.
Yeah, okay, so we're moving back up with this. Let's go to the fact that these camps have been operating for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
They're being profiteered by old face that was John Kelly.
Yeah. Everyone says this is like Stephen Miller's creation because I think the idea, or at least taking pleasure in separating children from their parents, is probably very Stephen Miller-esque.
Yeah.
Like, you can see how that would arrest him in certain ways.
That's how the vampire ghoul likes live.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the most cretinous things that have come out of this administration seems to be at the behest of that ghoul.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who's,
but
racist.
You were going to say John Bolton.
No, I was in John Kelly.
Okay, didn't John Kelly, and correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't he one of the people who suggested that we should be using this as a diversion tactic in order to basically, if you frame it this way, then children are not going to, or sorry, if you frame it this way, parents are not going to want to come to the border as kind of like, almost an offense, a horrific.
Yeah, I don't think it was
cartoonist.
I'm not sure if it was ever confirmed that it was him, but that's as far as. Like, this is going back last year, right? Because he left his post a while ago, too.
Yeah.
But I think when this was originally brought up... when was this originally brought up? Because the whole child separation thing was brought up like a year ago. Mm-hmm. And like many things that have resulted from this administration, you see... Like, everything's like a toe into the bathwater, and it's like, oh, the revulsion, this is horrible.
Yeah.
And then they pull it back, and I was like, oh, it's not like that.
Yeah.
And then, you pull back the curtain 6 months later, and it's like, this fucking grotesque body that's floating in this, like, disgusting bathwater.
Yeah.
So as far as, I guess, as far as these camps go, it's sort of popped up into the forefront of the news recently because Alexandria
Cortez, she did that little tour, tour of duty.
As well as 2 or 3 other Congress people. Mm-hmm. So when she came out, she was like, this is what's happening. They're being fed toilet or forced to drink toilet water. They're living in inhuman conditions.
They don't have access to soap, shampoo, toothbrushes.
And naturally, the right-wing media and just ghouls of the like, and people who just despise her and think that she's some cretinous socialist were like, oh, she's lying. Obviously, she doesn't know talking about. She's lying.
Yeah.
And then eventually the details were corroborated by other Congress people that were there. And I don't know. I haven't seen too much rebuttal. I mean, I've seen the worst, most ghoulish kind of hand washing. Brian Kilmeade from Fox and Friends said it's like it's like a house party.
They're having a great old time.
The Atlantic had a big post.
Ramping into corners.
Yeah, the Atlantic had a big post today. So a doctor went in there now because I guess they're being forced to, and essentially corroborated most of the stories that this is humane. People aren't getting like adequate drinking water, adequate cleaning supplies. Mm-hmm. They haven't let the Red Cross in. It's a camp.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Right? It's the audacity for everybody to naturally
get caught on semantics.
Right? It's like once you're debating the semantics of what is or is not constitute a concentration camp.
A camp where people are concentrated in just small pens like animals.
And I mean, this is no different. Like, it does not have to naturally imply it is a camp.
No.
The death camp, which is obviously what the right-wing media, the right-wing pundits sort of jumped on.
And Meghan McCain.
Oh, and Meghan McCain.
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Who is actually solving the Flint water crisis with the crocodile tears that she pours out every day.
She's salty.
Yeah, true. It's worse. It's worse than the actual water in Flint.
So, I don't know. I mean...
Well, you brought up John Kelly to start, right?
Yeah.
Didn't he, let's be adult in the room, after he left the administration, didn't he suddenly work for a private company that is part of housing the children?
Yes.
So he had a financial incentive to do this?
Yes.
Like, how is that? That's insanely
This whole just calamity and just atrocity isn't something new, right? I mean,
No, it's not.
There have been endless people in the last 30, 40 years who've gone work for the government straight into private prisons.
Yep.
And this is sort of like a disgusting, more heinous offshoot because obviously you're keeping children in these conditions and they're far less regulated.
Yeah. I wonder if that was something that was schemed, though. If they were just like, well, the private prison systems do well. We've got this crisis at the border. We've got all these people piling up.
Sure.
Why don't we open up new prisons? Why don't we... late stage capitalism, right?
Yeah.
We're just...
We make money off it.
Jails aren't enough. We need baby jails now.
Yeah.
Like, that's the next logical step, is baby jails, right? It
And
was always headed towards this.
It operates under such a legal it operates under such a legal gray zone that they don't have to operate under the Department of Corrections.
Nope.
Or it's run by
because they're not people. They're
Therein lies the rub.
Yeah, right.
But as soon as what bothers me most about it is sorry, I shouldn't say that. There's a lot of things that bother me most about it. But the biggest railroad I see in stopping this is the profit aspect of it.
Yeah.
Right? How do
the financial incentive.
Yeah. How as far as the American government and that insidious system that exists.
Yeah.
It's not one to easily be rolled back. Like private prisons hasn't been rolled back, and for the most people, no
matter how much prison reform everyone tries,
Yeah.
it's like that's a huge hurdle to get over because companies are going to fight that
Of
tooth
course,
and nail because they have a financial incentive to do so at the end of the day.
And of all people, let's say Kamala Harris, who's now the new darling after the debates, you think she's going to shut down for-profit prisons?
Kamala Harris? No, they're going to triple.
I mean, I feel that the only way to stop this would be constant outrage, constant media outrage. But
I mean, there at least that's the saving grace of this. There kind of has been, at least online anyway. And no one has let this go, and they shouldn't.
No, they shouldn't.
It's impossible to do so.
Yeah.
I mean, people kept saying for a long time it's going to be a matter of time until we see a body, and then boom, we've seen bodies. We've seen bodies.
We saw that horrible picture of that father and daughter who passed. But once again, this doesn't resonate the same way as you would expect it to.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't even resonate the same way the Syrian child that washed up on shore or died. Remember there was that?
I remember that photo.
2016, I want to say.
Yeah.
And that resonated all over the place. It was, hey, look at maybe our policies regarding,
Well, that's the thing. Like, in the thing that always drove me insane about this whole debacle was that, what exactly is the right wing response to this? And it's been they shouldn't be bringing their kids over the border.
Yeah,
if they don't do that, they'll be safe. And or this was started under Obama. Right?
Yes.
I was like, okay, well, whataboutism aside, because that's not a good justification for anything.
Yeah.
And yes, it kind of started under Obama, but it started very differently. There wasn't a policy of separating kids from their parents.
Yeah.
There was a policy of family detainment.
Yes.
And yes, that was there.
That's bad too.
And that's terrible, yes. Okay.
Once you're separating parents from their children,
it's infinitely more ghoulish.
Other than the whole point of that is cruelty.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just
And I see what they're trying to say. They're trying to say, well, this is a deterrent.
Yes.
As long as we keep getting more and more ghoulish, people will eventually stop coming. And clearly it's not.
No.
Because you're never going to match the atrocity they're experiencing at the hands of gangs, at the hands of economic and all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Unless that is your game, then fine.
And what blows me away is all these, right-wing pundits who are trying to play the battle of semantics by saying it's not as bad as the Oh, don't invoke the Don't invoke the It's
always a great way to start any debate.
And all I can think of is, let's be honest, if they were gassing those people in those places, you would just move those same goalposts and say,
of course.
Oh, well, we
didn't gas as many.
Yeah.
We're not taking their gold teeth.
Yeah.
Because they don't have them yet.
Yeah.
So that's slightly better.
Don't lie, right? It doesn't start or end with we're locking up children into fucking camps.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you heard of the "This Is Virtue" campaign?
No.
That's one that a lot of people are joining on right now, where they're trying to state that if they read this poem.
Keep ancient lands your storied pomp, cries she with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door.
Americana, the people always like to thump, like Steven Crowder does at the start of every single one of his shows, Pledge of Allegiance and all that, is worthless if at the very least you don't hold up to the bare minimum standard of protecting kids, right?
I mean,
which is true.
yeah, but I mean, slave.
They were child slaves? I thought they had little playpens. Wasn't it adorable?
Yeah. I don't see the Trump administration backing down on this.
No.
I don't.
No, they've gone too far.
Yeah.
They've gone way too far.
And, if the queen that is Nancy Pelosi,
Oh, you mean the ineffective nothing that is doing nothing of nothing? That we always said would happen? That she wasn't going to do anything? Don't trust her? Don't trust the Democratic Party?
Yeah.
They're ineffective and useless?
Yeah. I mean,
You gave them a modicum of power and they're doing nothing with it?
Yeah.
Like
they were elected on this whole blue wave by we will commit oversight on this ghoulish administration.
Yeah, we'll rein it
We'll
in.
get tax cuts.
Oh, yeah.
We're
gonna
get their tax returns.
Yes.
We're gonna hold the people accountable.
Absolutely.
We're gonna get all these receipts.
Oh, let's diamond and silk this.
Nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah.
And I mean, while there are some shining beacons of
Moments
against the Democratic caucus,
they're
generally there are quite a bit of people who've gone on record and saying, hey, we should do some impeachment proceedings or at the very least look into this shit.
But you can count on your hands how many people have said a ball face.
Yeah,
that's a big no-no.
And we didn't even talk about how ProPublica had that massive article or the investigation that uncovered all that Facebook group that had 9,000 Custom Border Patrol.
Oh no, I never read that.
Oh,
so what happened?
Oh, it's a Facebook group that's just insidious. It's literally has half the amount of active, or not active, but there's 20,000 people, members of Customs and Border Patrol, and there's 9,000 active members in this Facebook group, and it's just filled with hardcore and
especially amongst cops, right?
No, it wasn't cops. It was Customs and Border Patrol, and people who were just ripping into Alexandria Cortez and calling child migrants dirty and blah blah blah.
You're literally making them dirty.
Yeah, but these are the people who are in charge of these prisons.
Yeah, and clearly they have enormous racial biases.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Which,
surprise.
how do you...
Well, I guess that's part of it, right? You have to dehumanize the people that you're treating that way, otherwise you'll never be able to pull it off.
Yeah.
Harkening to cause.
There we go again. As a solution, I don't know.
Just don't stop. Don't fucking stop being outraged. Don't stop writing. Don't stop voting. Don't stop canvassing. Don't stop being upset about this. You know what the thing is, as two Canadians and as two people in other countries, you probably might be doing the same thing as us, right? You want to act completely outraged by this, but also look towards what the your own country is pulling off at the same time, because our treatment of Aboriginal kids is abysmal as well. Their rates are off the charts. Their incarceration rates are off the charts.
Yeah.
Just don't stop being disgusted.
Did you enjoy what you just watched and now crave more nectar of the damned? Did you know that if you're watching on YouTube, you're only getting half the surfy experience? We upload all of our content commercial and censorship free to our Patreon. Due to the general demonetization of our videos, we now upload half of our original content directly to those who can help us produce this show. Want even more nectar than that? Well, come join us at twitch.tv/TheSerfsTV, where we do weekly live streams, debates, interviews, AMAs, and more. So come join us, be merry, and know that your support is helping us do great things.